I do think it's really important for people to recognize that we actually can change our whole behaviors. We really can change the way we show up in the world, what we now do, what we used to do, and how we used to do it. Most people who meet me today would have no idea of how lacking in confidence I was for such a long time in my life, particularly during my 30s leading up towards my first divorce. I was so lacking in confidence. I was so overweight. I literally couldn't hold a conversation with someone in the corridor of where I worked. I worked in corporate, and I was just so, I would like to say the word shy, but it's certainly, I don't think it was shy. I just had that little confidence in myself. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I was worth anything. So that really translated to when it came to meeting people and actually having to hold a conversation with them, I really didn't have the skills, or I didn't have the confidence. It just keeps coming back to this confidence. I just didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel that I was worthy enough. So I didn't feel that I was able to contribute. So when people would meet me in the corridor, I was very much known for sort of putting my head down and really not making eye contact with people. And I did that for quite a number of years, and I didn't realize quite the impact that it was having until the boss that I had at the time would get me to do all these Myers-Briggs types, things, these assessments and all that. And she'd always just say to me, like, you are a leader. Why are you not coming out as a leader in these assessments? And it really just was, where I felt I was and where I sat and what I felt into about myself. I said, I had no confidence. I was on antidepressants. I was drinking way too much alcohol. I was way too overweight. My life was going down the drain. My marriage certainly was going down the drain. So when people meet me today, they have a lot of trouble recognizing the me of then versus the me of today, who, as you know, runs the Australian Tapping Institute. I train people from all over the world. I have this really great outlook in life. I seem to be able to manifest and just create everything that I want because I believe I can. So when people then kind of look and go, can't figure out that you were, this sort of more suicidal side to you, or you were so depressed and you were so miserable, people have trouble relating that to who I am today. So I think it's really important that we do talk about this, because people can totally transform their life. They can really de-layer all the garbage that's going on for them. They can take away all of the conversations that go in their head. I can recognize today that my lack of confidence really came from the dialogue in my own head at that time was so negative. It was so poor. I was such a victim, and I was so hard done by, and I just had no skills and no way of seeing my way out of that I just would have this endless dialogue of how crappy life was and how crappy my life was. And it really it created my whole entire existence. To this day, I advocate that language creates your world. So whether you're talking about having a really shitty day or you're having a really great day, you're absolutely right. That is what will translate into how you're showing up and how your day will actually be going. So I think it's really important that we recognize for people that you can totally transform who you are. You can totally transform from the way you're showing up in the world to the way you want to show up in the world, because I'm living proof that it can be done. And there are millions of people just like me who have also taken the step into personal development and done the work on themselves that they've wanted to do to change who they are. It's not easy work all the time. It can be really challenging. It can be very confronting. It can be really difficult to look at what I refer to as our shadow side. It can be very hard to do that, particularly on your own. But it's very, very worthwhile, because what happens is we get ourselves to a stage where we recognize that life doesn't happen to us. It happens for us. Things don't happen to us either. They happen around us. And it's how we react to each one of those things that really gets to create how our world is and what we want to be doing with ourselves. So yeah, thanks for asking such a great question, because it really is so important for people to realize that they have choices. They have wonderful choices. They can have amazing choices, and all they have to do is take some time, be focused on what they want to create, and be prepared and be brave to step out into that world and just start to step towards who you want to be, and know that it is a journey that's not taken by everybody. It can be really tough, but it is so incredibly, incredibly, incredibly worthwhile to change who you are in the world to who you want to be. It's just the best thing that you could ever do for yourself, I think.